All right, I'm going to read this again. We in Isaiah, the first chapter, and verse 27. First chapter, the 27th verse. It says, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment. So we're going to be redeemed with judgment. Ain't no kingdom came on this earth without judgment. Warfare. That's why it tells you in Revelation 19. Let's read it. When the Most High tell Mashiach Yahushua to rise. You say rise, because you're on the right-hand side of the Most High. Sitting on the right-hand side of the Most High. That's why you got to tell him to rise. And do what? Go and judge and make war. As it says in Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness. Here your righteousness again. You can't get around it. That righteousness is what? The commandments, the laws of the Most High. He does judge and make war. See? Coming to judge and make war. Jump down to verse 15. Say, and out of his mouth go up a sharp sword. This judgment. That with it, with this sword, he should smite the nations. This is coming to judge and make war against these nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as I said. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power, most high power. Understand, overstand this. So he coming to judge and make war. And he gonna rule everyone with the laws of the Most High. The same laws that you say you ain't under, he gonna rule you by them. Listen what it says. Going back to Isaiah, the first chapter, verse 27. Zion shall be redeemed with judgment. We're gonna be redeemed with judgment. And her converts with righteousness. So all you Israelites that's converting back over to being who you are as an Israelite, the 12 tribes of Israel, with righteousness. That's the laws of the Most High. You can't get around it. Come on, pork chop eating preacher, make that mean something different. Whoever being converted, gotta be converted with righteousness, with the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. And the destruction of the transgressors, those that break the Most High's laws, and of the sinners shall be together. You hear what it said? And the destruction. A lot of times they say woe means destruction. And the destruction of the transgressors, those that break the Most High's laws, and of the sinners. Sin is defined in 1 John 3 and 4. For sin is the transgression of the Most High's laws. Shall be together. And they that forsake the Most High by not keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments shall be consumed. You hear what he said? They that forsake the Most High by not keeping his laws, statutes, commandments shall be consumed. That's why, look, don't get it twisted. That's why I say people don't know the Most High. Y'all don't fear the Most High. Better hear what he shall be consumed, right? Who is he? Let's find out. Deuteronomy 4:24. For the Most High, thy power, your power, Yasharallah, is a consuming fire. Even a jealous power, right? Oh, that's that Old Testament. Y'all going to the lot. Well, let's go into the New Testament. They ain't bringing this out. See, y'all, that's why you don't fear the Most High. Because you don't know nothing about him, as you ought to. You better hear the word of the Most High, though, tonight. And change. Start thinking about who it is that's being spoke about. Look. Hebrews, the 12th chapter, the 29th verse. No, yeah. For our power, this is the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is a consuming fire. Hear that? The Most High, who you call God, is a consuming fire. You hear that? The Most High is a consuming fire. Hebrews 10:31. Hebrews the 10th chapter, the 31st verse in the New Testament. It is a fearful thing to what? To fall into the hands of the living power. What did he tell you? He telling you, hey, he telling you, man. Isaiah, the first chapter, 28th verse, and the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners, those that break the Most High's laws, shall be together. You got them all together. And they that forsake the Most High by not doing what he say do, not following his commandments, shall be consumed. You ever understand? I ain't been here in a minute. Let me go here. Y'all know where I'm going. Ezekiel 22 and 20. This from the Most High. He said, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, make it hot as it could be, to melt it, all those are metals. They say, you put in the furnace to melt it. He says, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. That's from the Most High. Yeah. He said, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath. You know, when you blow on that fire, it's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. He's a consuming fire. He said, yeah, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. You ain't scared of the Most High? You ain't afraid of that? You can handle that? You ready for that? As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof. And ye shall know that I, the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, have poured out my fury upon you. You better recognize and know that. That's scary even to read. Now, y'all think y'all ready for him? Y'all better really, really consider what it is that what this word is saying. Look at Ezekiel, the first chapter. Study the Most High. Ezekiel 1 and verse 27. See, and I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it. Fire round about within it. From the appearance of his loins even upward, fire from his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward, from the appearance of his loins even downward. He's a consuming fire, y'all. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it was brightness round about. Y'all ready for that? That's the Most High. Daniel had a vision of it too. Daniel 7 and 9. So I said we gotta see just who face we gotta see. Or you're gonna face the consequences. Daniel 7 and 9. So I beheld till the thrones were cast down. That's power and authority on this earth. He's seeing it being cast down. When the Mashiach shall come to judge and make war and smiting the nations, as we read, Revelations 19 and 15. He said, I beheld till the thrones were cast down. Powers and authority is taken out of this world that we know now. And the Ancient of Days did sit. Who's Ancient of Days? That's the Most High. Who's more ancient of days than the Most High? Job 36:26. Behold, the Most High is great, and we know him not. Neither can the number of his years be searched out. Neither can the number of his years be searched out. That's Ancient of Days right there. Daniel 7:9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, powers and authority is taken off this earth, and the Ancient of Days did sit. Daniel have a vision of him. This is through telephany, meaning him showing himself as if he were a man, whose garment was white as snow. Because it tells you in St. John 4:24, Most High is a spirit. And they that worship him must worship him how? In spirit and in truth. And don't get it twisted. Let me go to Colossians, the 1st chapter. So you see that he is invisible. But see, if you don't recognize that, then you won't understand how certain things, like he said, he's speaking visions and dreams, and he's giving him medicinal, because we require a sign, 1 Corinthians 1:22, we require a sign, so he's giving us a sign there. But go to Colossians 1, and we'll start at verse 14, just to show you that he's invisible. In whom we have redemption through his blood. This is Mashiach's blood being shed on the tree for the 12 tribes of Israel. Acts 5:30 and 31. Him at the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. To whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. That's Acts 5 and 31. Who is the image of the invisible power? See? The image of the invisible power. I mean, you can't see him. He's invisible. The firstborn of every creature. That's all I need. I just want to show you that it says invisible. So whenever he sees these things that we're reading about, these words that we're reading about, this is through telephany, when he's bringing forth an appearance of himself to be able to us to recognize he's our power. And he said, let's make man in our image. So since he's invisible, hey, this is the image that if he were to be manifested on this earth, if he could be, I don't think the earth is footstool, so that's like the heel on top of the earth. You can't be, heavens and heavens can't contain him, so that's kind of like an impossibility. But nevertheless, he's showing them this in a vision in Daniel 9 and 11, 9 and 8, 7 and 9, Salakia. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days, who was the Most High, did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. See? So he had nappy hair. Pure wool. Nappy hair. Meaning it was not straight. It didn't look like this. Didn't look like this. They say that's God. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. It didn't look like that. So now, that's from 1609. So Daniel seeing his hair on his head like the pure wool. His throne, that's the throne that he's sitting on, was like the fiery flame. Fire. Remember, fire from his waist up, fire from his waist down? So the throne that he's sitting on, he said, it says like the fiery flame. And his wheels as burning fire. Burning fire. His wheels is burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. And thousands ministered to him, thousands of angels ministering before him. And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set and the books were open. The books were open. Now when the books open, go to Revelations, the 20th chapter. Why it's important that we look at seeking the Most High's face, coming out of this wickedness, man. Don't allow this world to have you all twisted and following it to hell. Know where it's going. Look, Revelation 20 and 12. Let's look at verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. So we're looking at what? Seeking the Most High's face. Now, we're looking to seek the Most High's face, but it's telling you here in the judgment, I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. So they fled away from his face. When we try to get his face, we look at his face and look back at us, that we can be blessed by doing what he say do. His rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, commandments. But the other nations that's prepared to fight the Most High and the Mashiach, Yahushua, and the angels, they fled away from his face. And that's what is letting you know, that's where they're at now. That's what we're going to be dealing with in the end. Because the Most High ain't dealing with them. He the power of Abraham, who had a son named Isaac, who had a son named Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, that we just read about in Genesis 35 in this lesson, verse 10 and 11. And he became the forefather. Jacob became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what the Most High say. He's the power of Israel. Over and over again. My people. His people. Who are who? The 12 tribes of Israel. Who we are. So listen. Verse 11 of Revelation 20th chapter. And I saw a great white throne and pure righteousness, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. In the earth, you talking about the earth and the sky, it's talking about people that's on the earth. And in the sky, gonna be a galactical battle, and a battle that's gonna be on this earth. Fled away. And there was found no place for them. No place for them. See? There was found no place for them. Y'all hear that? Ain't everybody gonna be saved? There was found no place for them. That's why he said, look at verse 10. He said, and the devil that deceived them by what? Sorcery, witchcraft, was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. That's why y'all better watch who you dealing with and how you dealing. You be part of that false prophet. All these different religions that's not keeping the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws. Gonna be cast into the lake of fire. Gonna be tormented day and night forever and ever. It's getting closer and closer to this end time. He said gonna be like a woman in travail. You see things happening closer and closer and closer together. Like a woman having a baby. Them contractions, those labor pains that she have, they be far apart. They get closer and closer and closer and closer. You see how many things is happening? Turn on the news. You're going to see something happen today. Somewhere. Tomorrow. It's going to be, before you wake up, something happened. You know, they said somebody had took some type of rifle and shot the grid in North Carolina. Shut the lights down. It's getting closer and closer, y'all. But this is judgment. He said, I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it was whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. We trying to get the Most High to face us, and you follow the way of the world, you're going to die right with them. And there was found no place for them. You know that? There was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the Mashiach Yahushua, and the books were open. These same books we just read about, gonna be open. And another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works, according to how you follow the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, His rules and regulations. How you feared Him. How you repented. How you start to follow His laws, statutes, commandments. How you cried to the Most High that He had pity on us. That's when it's going to happen. Those 4 things got to happen. And you're going to be judged. We all going to be judged according to our works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in there. Look how many of us died in the oceans, in the book, coming across the seas and so forth. Over here. Taking us from here, going over to Europe and so forth. Taking us from way up in Canada all the way down to the bottom of South America. All over this place, man. We're on them ships everywhere. That's why He said. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High. I don't care how much you have or what you accomplished in this world. You're still going to stand before the Most High in judgment. And the books were open. Because everything that we're doing is being recorded in the books. The books going to be open. And another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books. You're going to be judged by the things that you've done in these mortal bodies, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. How many millions of us died in the ocean? And death and hell, that's a place of habitation. Death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. You know, somebody died, but death angels got somebody dead. Okay, that judgment is down. They got to give them up. Death angels, don't get it twisted. They got death. Don't say I have death angels. I think I did a lesson on that. But go to Psalm 79. Let's see if we can find it. Is that it? No. I know the Most High have. No, that's for the when we that goes along with Luke the 21st chapter, the 20th verse. Slovakia. Man. I can't find it right now. But I know tell you about how the Most High sent death angels. It's in Psalms. Anyway, I'll find it. I hate that. No, it's I know in Psalms 105 talks about what he did in Egypt. Let's see Psalm 78. Let's see that. Yeah, there it is. Psalm 78 and 49, Salakia. He cast upon them, talking about the Egyptians, who was in Egyptian captivity. Remember, he put 10 plagues on the Egyptians. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them. Say, by sending evil angels among them. Verse 51, and smote all the firstborn in Egypt, the chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Ham. Say, all praise the Most High, the water Most High. Bring all things back to remembrance. It's our straight our brain lock. But all praise the Most High. He brought it back to me. So going back to Revelation 19, Revelation 20, and verse 13, it says, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, the death, and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. When the books is open, we're going to be judged according to what we done to these mortal bodies. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Ain't going to be no more death. Remember, we read that earlier. Ain't going to be no more death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So all this is about we as a people being written, our names written in the book of life to live forever and ever and ever. If not, then whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So you can't think that you could do whatever you want to do and you're still going to be saved. Nah, that don't make no sense. If your name not written in the book of life, you're going to be cast into the lake of fire, point blank. That's why we got to seek the Most High's face. We ain't finished. We got to continue on this until the Most High say, that's enough. In the spirit. And I hope that was edifying, and continue to tune in. And we're going to go over this because we've done so much to offend him. Why he say he turned his face away from us. We got to seek his face. You know. Because in the end he say in our affliction. We ain't even got to that yet. We're going to seek him early. So hope that was edifying. Go over these scriptures and go over what the Most High is telling us. I hope you feel it in your spirit and change. That's all it's about, changing. And with that, I'm out. Shalom.